team that'll boom in to 2024, I think Kentucky. Kentucky is a team. Here's a fun stat for you, Tyler. Did you know that Kentucky, of all places, they have been to 8 straight bowl games? 8 in a row.
Good for them.
That is really good for them. 8 in a row. Games. They have won 4 bowl games in their last 6 years. To put that in perspective, what Mark Stoops has done at Kentucky, the 4 wins in the last 6 years in bowl games, that's as many as they had in the 37 years prior to him getting the job at Kentucky. About consistency in a conference that's very difficult to do so at the SEC. Road's not going to necessarily be easy, right? Like you still have that's like that. That's good. You still get Georgia, you get them early, which I do like. Ole Miss is obviously going to be tough, especially on the road. They played them on the wire last time they were there. I think you're looking at some very winnable games, though, everywhere else on here. Tennessee's going to be tough. Auburn, you get at home at least. Texas, you're just getting sent to the wood chipper. But I see 8 wins on this schedule, maybe more. And one of the reasons why is I think they're going to get back to basics with that offensive line play that they prided themselves on, the big blue wall for a long time. And then I will also say that I love the fact Billy Daniels is on fire tonight. Love that he's here. And then I will also say I love the fact that I think they're going to have a step up at quarterback. And like we have seen them play with some big names the past couple of years. Will Levis, obviously last year. How am I drawing a blank? Devin Leary. I think that from a talent standpoint, Brock Vandergriff is going to be better than both those guys. And I tell you this too. Will Levis is a guy that might pop in the NFL down the road and be good because he has all the physical traits and he's going to grow into learning about the game more and being a better quarterback. But Vandergriff just feels like a type of dude that could be a very, very good college quarterback. I don't know if his ceiling is higher than that necessarily. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying I don't know. But I think the ceiling for him to be a very good quarterback in college is pretty evident.
Yeah, it sounded like all reports were that he's looked pretty good in spring. So I don't know. It's hard for me to say Kentucky's a boom team, but the returning production, like we already mentioned, that does tend to be a pretty key indicator, to go along with recruiting and things like that. But especially over the last couple of years when you've had all these COVID kids, to have a term that kind of sounds weird, but you've got kids that have been in programs, whether it's been the same program or different programs for, 5, 6, 7 years at times. So you got 22, 23-year-old kids that are out there playing against, 18, 19-year-olds. So I think it could be really good for Kentucky. We'll see, obviously, in the SEC, when you are already starting out games with talent deficiencies compared to who you're playing, typically it's tough. But do we know their win total for next year yet?
I can bring it up real quick. Also a graphic that I'm working on today as well. Dude, I'm so fired up.
Those road games, though, if you look, you get Georgia at home, but at Ole Miss, at Florida, at Tennessee, at Texas.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Oklahoma is a team I think that could boom. Win. Now let's not forget that Houston is now a Power 5 team. This is a very difficult schedule. Tulane has been very good the past couple of years. They do have a new head coach, so it's not going to be at the same. But you got 10 Power 5 games, or at least, you get 9 because they play Maine. They close the season. With on paper, one of the most difficult. They have 2 stretches that you could argue are some of the most difficult in the league with Tennessee, Auburn, and Texas. And you close with at Mizzou, Bama, and at LSU. I think Mizzou's going to have that game circled on their calendar more than any other game this season. Those 2 fan bases do not like each other. I will also tell you this. They have all the components. I'll bring up the production thing if you don't mind. They have all the components for me to potentially be better than people think. But there's a reason, and I'm going to preemptively die on this hill. There has to be a reason. 65% returning production, by the way. Brent Venables was okay with letting Dillon Gabriel go. Jackson Arnold, your freshman quarterback a year ago, one of the top quarterbacks in the country coming out of high school, 5-star. I think he's a dual threat guy. Jackson Arnold is going to have some growing pains, but he has a year in the program. They've got talent at the skill position. Oklahoma is a team that has built their team like an SEC team. I remember saying this when Spencer Rattler went from Oklahoma to South Carolina, right? We talk about the big bag SEC and it's built in the trenches and all that kind of stuff. Spencer Rattler left from Oklahoma to go to South Carolina. I said the biggest problem he's going to have is the fact that it's not the people he's going to throw to. It's not him from a talent standpoint or even the schedule. When he was at Oklahoma, during his time there, they had 11 offensive linemen that were ranked 4 stars or better. When he got to South Carolina, they had 1. I think they ended up with only 2 or 3. So they have built that offensive line in a way that is able to withstand, I think, some of the trench warfare you're going to have in the SEC. And I think that is important going into a year like this.
No doubt.
Once the season gets closer, I'm sure I'll talk myself into why they can be good. And they can be, right? Like the loss of production isn't even as bad as I thought, right? You're ranked 100th. But here's the deal. This schedule is a nightmare, right? South Florida, I almost put them as one of my boom teams because they could be a team that arguably makes the playoff from the G5 thing. We've seen it from Brad Crawford. I keep talking about it every week. Wisconsin game is going to be tough. Then you get into the SEC play.
You forget last year it was a close game against USF.
It was. Dude, there was a point in the fourth quarter. I told my friends, I was like, I don't know how this has happened, but this has become a we just need to get out of here type game. Georgia is going to be a loss. I think the next 2 are wins. Dude, this 3-game stretch here, you can't afford to look past South Carolina, who I don't think is going to be good, but like they could also be a team that gives you some fits. Pepper stop with Honora Sellers and Nick Harbor. So at Tennessee, I think is a loss. Missouri at home is going to be tougher than they brought it up earlier, dude. All that talent that Missouri has at receiver, Bama's secondary is young at best and thin at best. Like it is, they need so much help. They need so much. That is a team that lost 39 total players to the portal. 39. And losing 39 players from Alabama is different than any other team in the country because the level of player that they lost is different than every other team. You just brought it up. Like that they finished top 3 in recruiting every single year. And they have lost 39 players from just this year, right? And I think they've lost double digits for the defensive backs. LSU on the road, you lost there last time. Now, listen, historically speaking, they should go in there and dominate. But I don't love that. I don't love that with a first-year head coach. DeBoer's never walked in anything like that. Oklahoma on the road is going to be tough, and then you get Auburn at home. Now, you should be able to win. The over-under, I think, is 9.5, and you need to win 10 to get to the playoff. And I mean, like at best case scenario, your first 6 games, you're 5-1, and you better be, because you need to only you need to be 5-1 for the first 6. You need to go at least. You need to probably go 3-1, and then the next 4. Like it's just a tough stretch, man. There's just so many. There's multiple games on here where I'm like, all right, if you gave me 10 wins, I can tell you the 2 losses I think where that are for sure going to happen, in my opinion. Georgia and Tennessee. That's where I think they lose those 2 games at. 2 ridiculous environments, right? Now you're saying that you can't lose at Wisconsin. You can't lose to a Missouri team that's ranked in the top 10. You can't lose to an LSU team on the road in the toughest environment in all of college football to a top 15 team. Better not lose at Oklahoma. That's a top 20 team, and then you better not lose against Auburn, who has taken you down to the wire in 2 of the last 3 games. It fucking sucks. This could be the year that they legit go 8-4, 7-5. KMS.
That'd be tough to see for everybody.
I'm going to lose so many more Twitter accounts if that happens, Evan.
All right.